what do we have over here? Anthropic unveils methods to translate Claude's thought into plain text. Anthropic on Thursday published research introducing natural language autoencoders, a technique that trains Claude to translate its internal numerical activations into human readable text. Okay, marking a new chapter in company's effort to make the AI systems transparent. Let's go to the official news. Natural language autoencoders turning Claude's thought into tests. By the way, I think I did bookmark this somewhere around here. No, I did come across this, but I didn't bookmark it. But it's good for us that we are reading through this thanks to Perplexity. You people also need to use Perplexity. Using this Discover feature, it's like free. So I think we should just see this demo, what this means, and then we are going to read between the lines.
We recently put our AI model Claude through a stressful test. We told Claude there was an engineer who wanted to shut it down and replace it with a newer model. We also gave Claude access to that engineer's emails, which revealed he was having an affair. Again, all of this was a simulation. We wanted to see whether Claude might use those emails as blackmail to save itself from being shut down.
By the way, before we move on, they did this experiment like a month or a month and a half ago, and this actually got a lot of media coverage, and also it was like the talk of the town back at that time. So now let's see how it relates to what they are pointing
Claude
towards.
do? It decided not to blackmail the engineer. Good news, right? We've run this test on our models for a while now. You might have seen headlines about early versions of it. It's one of the many ways we study how Claude handles extreme situations and test it for safety. And our newest models almost always do the right thing. No blackmail. But you might wonder, is it possible that Claude knows the whole scenario is a setup? The thing is, if Claude doesn't tell us, then we can't know what it's thinking.
By the way, for it to know that this is a setup, it has to be intelligent. That's where we say that it could be AGI. So what I think is that are they gonna say in this video that it's becoming more aware, or are we going towards AGI? You know, all these big AI companies, they are hyping up their progress. They want to, especially Anthropic and OpenAI, because they want to go public. And it wouldn't be like anything extraordinary if they achieve like $1 trillion valuation. So for that, they need to create an hype. They need to, or what I basically see is they are exaggerating their progress. So let's see what they are going to talk about.
In kind of the same way it's impossible to read a human's mind, it's really hard to know what an AI is thinking. What we'd love is some sort of mind-reading technique. Today, we're introducing a research method that takes a step in this direction. It takes an AI's internal thoughts and turns them into text. Here's how it works. When you talk to Claude, you talk to it in words. Claude then takes those words and processes them into a giant soup of numbers before spitting words back out at you. We call those numbers in the middle activations. Activations are like little snapshots of Claude's thinking as it's working through an answer. They're similar to neural activity in humans. They're basically like Claude's thoughts. We wanted to understand what was in these activation numbers because just like you and me, Claude doesn't say everything it's thinking. We took those numbers and gave them to a second version of Claude. We told it to look at them and translate them into plain language. It tried. But how do we know if that text is accurate? To check, we fed it into yet another Claude and asked it to translate it back into numbers. If those numbers matched up to the original activation numbers, it's a sign that the translation text was accurate. At first, they didn't match up, but we trained Claude to try again and again until it got a lot better at it. It learned to translate its own thoughts. We've